Hello everybody and welcome to Clear Path Guidance and Tarot. I am going to do a reading on Ariana Grande and Mac Miller. I did a reading on her and Pete Davidson yesterday, and somebody also wanted to know about Ariana Grande and Mac Miller because he did pass away of a drug overdose, is I think what I heard. All right, so as far as Ariana Grande and Mac Miller, I felt that relationship was deep. Kindred spirit. I feel that was a past life connection. It was really deep. I don't know how long they went out for, but I felt she did feel for this man. I feel like she was somewhat a caretaker for her. Okay, so a caretaker for him. Sorry, I just got off work and I'm trying to get my bearings straight. We are in Venus retrograde, and I've had quite the day. And like I'm scrambled up and all over the place. So I'm trying to ground myself because I had a hard day. I got a headache going on that I'm trying to get rid of. But anyway, so she was his caretaker. She was the wiser one. So when she went on to be with Pete Davidson, that relationship was no work. I feel like maybe subconsciously she wanted to be with somebody that it was not going to be deep and they would just go have fun, because I feel like there's a darkness with Mac Miller. Now, he died of a drug overdose is what they're saying. So I don't know if that was, like it was a suicide or he just did drugs. But I feel like she tried to help this man and she couldn't help him any longer. And it was starting to drag her down and become toxic to her. So, when you're in love with somebody, like let's say you have, like, even for example, like you have a brother or your sister or a sister or someone in your family that you love very much and you want to help them, but they keep pushing you away and they don't want your help and they just want to do whatever it is that they want to do, and it just becomes toxic and you have to throw your hands up in the air and say, I am done. I cannot do this anymore. I love you very much, but I can't do this. That is what I feel with Ariana. I feel she was sad. I don't know if she broke it off with him or if it was mutual or what, but I feel that I just feel she couldn't take it anymore. He wasn't listening to what she wanted. Her best interest was his heart, her heart was at his bench. I don't even know what the word is. But he had her best interest at heart. Okay? That's what she wanted, was her best interest. Am I making sense? Okay, so she wanted nothing but the best for this guy, and he would not do it. All right? He thought he knew it all and was dragging her down with him. And he was stuck in his ways. I don't know if he had a bunch of demons that he was trying to deal with. All right? So now, if she would have stayed with him, I feel he would have still overdosed. I don't feel that her relationship with Pete did him in. All right? I feel he was just doing drugs like he normally does, because I feel he had issues with drugs. So he had issues with drugs. He had a hard time getting out of it. I felt like he was stuck and he was being repressed, not being able to come up for air. I feel like it was something that was out of his control. He could not help himself. So whether Ariana would have ended up with another man or single, this would have still happened. So her getting engaged to Pete Davidson is not the cause of this. All right? It would have still happened whether she was single or not. All right? So you guys have to kind of know that I hope she knows that too, that this had nothing to do with her. I felt that it was just fate. It was just something that was going to happen. It was his destiny. Whether she could have been with him, she could have been single, and she could have been With Pete, it would have happened regardless. Okay? Nobody can stop these things sometimes. You can't help somebody from getting out of their own way, you know, when they're the biggest problem already, right? So, you know, and I don't want to talk badly about him. So, you know, like, rest his soul, the poor guy. But I just feel that he couldn't get out of his own way either. So the two of them, I feel that she really did love this guy deeply. And for her to walk away from the relationship was very hard to do. This isn't something that she wanted to do, but I feel for her, it's like, I don't know how many of you guys feel like this, but sometimes it's like I'll give you my own personal circumstance. All right, I lost my sister a year ago. My best friend, my sister, my mother's dealing with it, her 3 children who are adult boys, but she was very, very close to all of us. And it shook my foundation. I cry almost every night for my sister. We were a year and a half old. We were a year and a half apart. All right. And she died suddenly. I was there when it happened. Okay. So I am trying to keep my head above water by helping others, by keeping my vibration high, by not focusing on my own feelings and my own problems. And then when I go visit my mother, she tells me she cannot live another day because she's so filled with grief. So my water, the water is like this to me, right? So now I'm holding up other people that are trying to keep their head above water, and then other people that are trying to keep their head above water, and it becomes so heavy that I feel like I'm starting to sink myself. So this is what I'm feeling with Ariana, that when she was with Mac Miller, that this is what she was like this deep and holding on to him. She was drowning, trying to keep him above water. So she had to let him go. She had to let him go so she can save herself, because he was not willing to save himself. It's like he's fighting her. He's pulling on her, dragging her down, and she can't do that. So she'd recognized that this was not healthy for her. So I feel they have a deep past life connection. When I think about the two of them, the number 9 comes up. So I feel like they possibly could have had 9 past lives together. Okay? So this whole thing with Mac Miller could not have been avoided. But I feel that there's this deep admiration for each other. For she admired him and loved him, and he admired her for who she was and what she did, and I feel she admired him too. It's like, were they both in music or something like that? Because I really feel like they were on the same wavelength. You know, they knew what the other person wanted. You know, they understood each other. It's one of those relationships where they kind of remind me of Selena and Justin. You know, that there was a strong connection there between the two of them. When I think about her and Pete Davidson, no. And again, like I called that right, I felt like that was not going to last because I could not feel a connection. When I feel connection between two people, if it's not a very strong connection, I see like a string, a thread. When I see a thick connection, like a very strong connection between two people, I see almost like a cord, like a very thick, maybe wire rope. That's how strong the connection is. So when I think about Selena and Justin, I feel that very thick connection, that strong rope. When I feel that between Mac Miller and Ariana Grande, I don't feel a string. I feel that connection that will not break. All right? When I think about her and Pete, I see a string. I don't see a connection. Not a deep one at all. So yes, unfortunately, he had a drug overdose. But I don't feel like it's something that could have been avoided. You know, he couldn't even get out of his own way. All right. So, and I'm sorry to say that, you know, the man has passed away. I feel bad, but I feel like she had to let him go because there was, she had to save herself from the relationship. I think it was hard for her to watch him do this to himself. Okay, as far as do drugs and not want to seek treatment or something like that. Okay, let's just and I'm trying to be respectful. I want to, you know, I don't want to say anything bad about people that have passed on and so forth, but this is what I feel, you know, between the two of them. Okay, all right. Let's see what the cards will say regarding Ariana and Mac. Ariana and Mac. And now, I don't feel that Ariana and Pete broke up because of this. It was destined to fall apart regardless of what happened to Mac Miller. If this relationship that she has with Pete was strong enough, it would have survived the death of Mac Miller. You know what I mean? So if you love each other enough and the relationship is strong enough, nothing can break up that relationship. All right? So their relationship had nothing to do with that, with the death of Mac Miller. Like their breakup had nothing to do with it. All right? It was going to break up regardless. It was just timing, right? It's all timing. So people are like, oh, Mac Miller overdosed because she got engaged. Oh, they broke up because Mac Miller got it, you know, hurt, you know, overdosed. That kind of a thing. All right. What are the messages regarding Mac Miller and Ariana Grande? Mac Miller and Ariana Grande. 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 Still just waiting for one card. Mac Miller and Ariana Grande. Oh man, I should have looked up their signs. Okay, so here we have the Fool card. And so this card here represents someone who has their head in the clouds and is always willing to take that leap of faith. Okay, so I felt that Mac and her had their head in the clouds somewhat, but they were there. Always felt like when they were together, they felt that they could take that leap of faith, that they loved each other enough that you could take the leap, like take a leap off this cliff, all right, and still be okay, all right? Because then we have this card here, which is the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups talks about, it's about love, right? It's about emotions, somebody offering. You can see here this little girl has the cup out, all right? And is willing to offer, all right? And also the water here is cresting over. So this little girl is not afraid of it. All right, she's not afraid of the water that's going to crash onto her because it's emotions and they were happy together. All right, they were emotionally involved with each other. And then here is the Magician card, and these two really did think that they could they had the tools. All right, they had the tools in the relationship to make this work. So you can see the cup. There's a sword, there's the coin, and then there's a wand. So this card is saying here that they did have the tools to make this relationship work. Okay? All right. Let's just see what Ariana feels for Mac. Ariana, what does Ariana feel for Mac? Oops, 2 cards. What does Ariana feel for Mac? 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 But these two did have a past life connection. They really did. All right, so first is the Moon card, and the Moon card is about not being able to see all the facts by the light of the moon. So it's very dim. So I feel like this relationship, this card is saying that she did not see all the facts all the time. He hid things from her, okay? She feels cheated. So there is the 7 of Swords. She felt cheated by him. Not like he was like sleeping around on her, but she felt cheated. You know, I feel that she thinks they could have been happy. He just wouldn't listen. He wouldn't help himself. And what does she feel? This is the 7 of Pentacles. So the 7 of Pentacles is about there was everything was there. They planted the seed, you know, but there was no growth. Waiting for that growth to happen. Okay. All right. There is the reading regarding Mac Miller and Ariana Grande. All right. I don't want to get cursed out for, you know, doing a reading on somebody that's passed on. I did, however, do one on Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love. So, but this is a little more fresher, right? Like I just, I don't know. I kind of feel weird about it, but anyway, people were asking about these two, so I thought I would do a reading on them. So anyway, anybody who's interested in a private reading, please email me and I will send you the information on how to get a reading and what it costs and so forth. All right, take care. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you for all your support, your love, and, you know, the constant comments that I keep getting. All right, they're all wonderful, except for a few, of course, but we're not going to mention those. All right, everyone, have a great night. Bye-bye.